Today we're going to be looking at function tables, so finding our patterns and relationship between numbers using when the data is in a function table. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to figure out what the rule is. The rule between, if it's an input-output table, then your rule is always going to be between your input and your output. But remember, the rule sometimes could go from the numbers up and down, just depending on where your data, what the data is talking about. So the next step that you're going to do is to test your rule. And you want to do this on at least two other numbers that you didn't use to figure out. So 3 total, how many you'd probably should try, just to be sure, because sometimes they can do it. If you think about, like, if you did plus 2 and it's 4, well, times 2 is 4, it works also. So you want to make sure you test it more than once. So then after that, then you're going to solve for whatever's being asked of you to finish the table or whatnot. Okay? So the first thing we do when we look at this one, and we see 12, it looks like 12 plus 2 is going to be 14. So we're going to test it. So 16 plus 2, that does equal 18. 20 plus 2, that is 22. So then go ahead and solve the rest of them. So 24 plus 2 is 26. 72 plus 2 is 74. And 87 plus 2 is 89. Okay, so when you notice, we kind of made a third column in here that kind of shows you your rule. We made a third column in the middle of your table, kind of helps show your rule to figure out what you're going to go from one to the next. So let's look at some others. So we've been hired to mow Miss Robinson's lawn. She is going to give us a $2 bonus for starting early. In addition to this, she will pay us $3 an hour. What is the function rule for this problem? All right. So first we got to know that, okay, it's going to be a $2 bonus. So right off the bat, when we start, we're going to get $2 just for coming in early. And then it's $3 an hour after that. So you just set it up. So Y, remember, because that's going to be my output. So it would be 3 times X, X being your input, because that's how many hours you've worked, and then plus the 2, because that's your bonus that you get just for coming. So first we can choose a value. So if we said, okay, I'm going to guess how much money I want to make. So if I worked for 4 hours, then I could say, okay, well, 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2, I would make $14. Unless sometimes the values are given to you. So for example, as you plug in the results of the values that they were given for X, then you will get the corresponding value for Y. So if I put in 0, so 3 times 0 plus the 2 is 2. Or 3 times 1 is 3 plus, so the 2 bonus is $5. So then you go ahead and go figure out the rest of this. Remember, if you plug it into 3 times X, 3 times your input, plus the 2 bonus dollars. So you guys go ahead and bring in whatever the answers to the rest of this table is. Okay? Then also we'll go ahead, I want you to answer the questions for this one as well. So the table shows the cost of sliced fruit platters. So it's in your table, you've got the platter weights and then how much they are per pound, for each of these pounds. So then you want to go through first, remember you want to think about what is that rule? What are they doing to go from each pound and the price increase? What's it increasing by? So in those patterns, it's going to be consistent. So then, once you figure out the rule, what's the price for 6 pounds? And then I want you to write an equation for the cost of a platter that would weigh W pounds, so that you could plug in for W for if you didn't, you want to know how much you want it to weigh, but you don't know how much it's going to cost, so you can plug it in. Okay? All right, be sure you bring in these 3 questions answered along as well with the rest of these 3 tables finished. And then these 3 questions, bring all those in tomorrow. All right. If you want to go and do some practice with the functions or function machines, input-output tables, the mathplayground.com has got some good ones that you can practice on. It's got one you can make plugging in your own rule, or the computer will generate a rule and you try and solve for the rule. All right. See y'all tomorrow. Don't forget your problems.